So today is frame day. I'll be stripping the frame of pretty much everything I can take off of it, unbolt every bolt and unclip every clip, so I can get it ready to put it on the rotisserie, sandblast it, and paint it. It's a nice, chilly, crisp autumn day right now, so like I say, it's getting cold, so I want to get this done before it gets too cold, which makes it much more difficult to find the right weather conditions to sandblast and not screw things up when I bring it in. Because a problem I've had in the past is if it's really cold outside, I'll sandblast, bring it in, well then you get condensation on that nice bare metal, which is not exactly where you want, condensation. So it's not going to be super cold. Hopefully I can get this done today, sandblast it tomorrow, get it in the shop, and then, I don't know, maybe Sunday or something I'll get it actually painted, but we'll see. But anyway, that's what's going to happen now, and you're going to get to see me, probably see me take it all apart in time lapse. Cool. Well, that was a little more of a fight than I was expecting. I knew it was going to be hard, but then I didn't have the right blades for the Sawzall. I ran out of oxygen for the torch this morning, otherwise I would have just reached in there and snipped off those bolts holding the shackles on. Oh well. And then a little balance issue, which probably you saw. So yeah, it was like I say, it was a bit of a fight, but interesting. So now I'll start on what should be the easy end and strip that down and kind of go from there. Okay, it's still windy, so you're probably going to hear that in the microphone. Anyway, here it is. Frame is completely stripped clean. Everything that can be unbolted, unclipped is unbolted and unclipped. There is, you might notice there's a couple bolts like this, and it's weird because that's bolted there but riveted here. So I think they started to at some point bolt some things together so that it would hold while they riveted everything. There's a couple more up front. Anyway, so I've got some of my adapter brackets already kind of bolted on. They're not super tight yet for the rotisserie anyway. The other thing that I should mention, once this frame is stripped naked like this, oh, I see a clip I missed. That's okay. It's really not that heavy. You think a frame, oh, it's super heavy, but it's not that bad. But anyway, so which is why I don't like to do it like this, because the last time I did a pickup frame, there were different holes in the front, because there was like one up top. So then I had these on top, and I actually put an extra piece of iron across to help kind of hold everything. You can actually still see the remnants where it used to be. Anyway, those aren't there. I don't want to drill extra holes in here just for fun at that, and I don't have that piece of iron, that extra support iron anyway. So there's just one bolt in here, but it's a 7/16 bolt, and it'll be cranked down good and tight. And like I say, this isn't that heavy. I mean, I can pick it up. Not easily, but I can pick it up. So, but anyway. Oh, and just out of, like, there's a lot of pieces to this rotisserie. Here we go. And obviously that's the main end. And there's, that piece goes into the round hole you saw over there. And there's 2 more pieces here that slide into there. So it's nearly infinitely adjustable. And then you've got, the length is almost the same way too. And you know, I've got some brackets over there on the floor or on the ground. They're specifically made for B bodies, Chrysler B bodies, because hopefully I'll be doing some of those for myself. And the brackets, the generic brackets that came with it, just didn't seem to fit very well on that last Cordoba I did anyway. So, but there we go. Yeah, and then all these aren't put together yet. Everything kind of goes together with pins, with the exception of the bottom spine, I guess, that is all bolted together, obviously for a little more strength. Yeah, that's it for now. I'm going to get this put on. Well, it's on there. Obviously, it's leveled off close anyway. Normally, I get really worried about like centerline balance of stuff, but this is just a sandblast and paint, and then as soon as it's done with that, it's getting set back down on jack stands in the shop. So, but it's not bad. It's a little bottom heavy, but otherwise, you know, it turns really nice. So. It's good. Tomorrow is a sandblasting day. There we go. It is all sandblasted. Oh, that took a long time. It always does, though. Always takes longer than I expect. Anyway, it's not perfect because this is not a like show car restoration type of thing. This is going to be a nice driver. That and so, and quite frankly, 99% of it you'll never see again anyway once the truck is assembled. But also the POR 15 is what I'll be putting on. They also say you can paint right over rust, hence the POR. I am not quite that, I don't want to say gullible, but that trusting. But there are some areas, you know, like here you can kind of see there's some rust in some of the deeper pits. I'm not worried about that for multiple reasons. One, yeah, it's not a super nice, I mean, it's going to be a nice truck, but it's not like the Trailer Queen kind of thing. That, and once this thing starts getting driven, it's going to get beat up, it's going to get rock chips, it's going to get whatever underneath. So it's, in a few years, it's going to start showing some stuff anyway. But that, and if I wanted them like perfectly clean, so it was all just, so it all looked like, you know, like right in there, you know, the whole thing, it would have taken me 8 hours instead of 4, and it probably would have taken me about 30 bags of stuff instead of, 14 is what I had into it. I don't have that kind of time, and and that's just the naked frame. I haven't touched any of the suspension yet. That's going to be another, probably just as many hours, because it's all these pieces. You got to flip them over. I got to finish disassembling them first. Take everything apart, sandblast it, flip it over, sandblast it, flip it over, sandblast it, whatever. And then bring it in here, hang up, you know, a bunch of pieces in here, and it'll be just a zoo in here. And I got to do that like 6 or 7 times, probably. Well, I mean, not quite 6 or 7. It might be by the time it's all said and done. A lot of pieces. There's always more pieces than what you think. Anyway, that's it. This thing will get painted here in a couple days, and then it'll be looking sharp. And then I gotta get it on the ground, on jack stands, and then I should go order my cab mounts if I haven't already. I'll have to look and see if I have any. then I can maybe set the cab on it right away, or soon to right away. And, well, I hate to state the obvious, but I've got it painted. Just finished a little while ago. It's still a little hazy in here, but it turned out pretty well. 2 coats of regular POR 15 and then 1 coat of the chassis black top coat. Just in more or less in places where it's potentially going to be able to see it or where the sun could get at it. I didn't do the inside of the frame rails because there's no point to that. If the sun gets to there, there's a lot of other things that have went wrong. And then I kind of coated a couple spots that, you know, like the bottom side of this cross member, I threw another layer on there just because that's going to get beat up anyway. Might as well give it a fighting chance. I did find something, if I can find it again here, when I was sandblasting. Oh, maybe it's on the other side. I found the VIN stamped into the frame. I thought it was over on this side. Maybe oh, there, I see it. I see it. It is on the passenger side. It's the first time I've ever seen that, for 2 reasons. One, usually they're so rusty, and this is not exactly the least air, the spot that's going to get the least rusty, right next to the rear suspension. But there it is. You know, it's obviously, yeah, you can kind of see it there. Anyway, I was really surprised, and it's like super legible. And it's possible I've seen bits and pieces of them over the years on a couple of other ones I've done, but maybe they just stamped it really well on this one. So, or maybe this is when they started. I'm not sure when they actually started stamping VINs in the frames of the pickups, but there they are. So I've got, the frame is done, the transmission cross member and the bolts are hanging there also. I'll work on all the various suspension pieces this week, get them blasted and try to get as many of them painted as I can later this week. So that way when I do flip this thing over and set it down on jack stands, I can start putting that stuff together. I have a plan to get the cab on. It might be sketchy, but I think it's very doable. And that may be its own little video or its own little fiasco. We shall see.